Tonight on 60 Minutes, we take a closer look at the life of Richard Branson, who recently put an end to Little Red Domestic Airways after seeing the failed attempt with trying to continue business there. Proud owner of the largest successful company, the Virgin Group, Branson has paved his way to fame and fortune through a desire to do business differently. Today, the brand of the red and white Virgin logo stands proudly on several different goods and services throughout the world. To begin our exclusive, let's get a better idea of Richard Branson's story. Born on July 18, 1950, to barrister Edward James Branson and his wife Eve, Branson grew up in a small village called Shamley Green, an area of southeast London. Growing up as a kid, he was not strong in his academics, and in fact, he failed out of high school. At the young age of 16, he decided to start his own business, where he tried partnering up with some of his friends and originally had 2 failed attempts at making businesses while he was still in school. Shortly after dropping out of high school, he started a business called The Student magazine. But how did this all come to be? Many business leaders probably wish they could have his free-spirited attitude, but he became so secure in his success over that time that there shouldn't be anything stopping him from doing whatever he wants. According to the book Business the Richard Branson Way by Des Dearlove, Richard Branson is seen as an anomaly. This is because he does things very differently from the average person. Branson's leadership style is so unique and has led to so much success. We have to wonder, how did this all come to be? Was it sheer luck? Perhaps a Management 3001 class he took at Marquette secretly? Let's take a closer look at the life and times of Richard Branson and see how he became a successful leader. Eventually, Branson was able to make his own store on Oxford Street in 1971. While he hit some bumps along the way, he always learned from his mistakes, one being a legal issue with HM Customs and Excise, a department of the British government. He also added a few good legal and financial advisors to his team and moved forward. This did not stop him from exploiting the loophole in the tax system, which we'll discuss in a later segment. With Virgin Record shops brewing, Branson continued into record production and launched a widely successful record label with some famous artists, one of which was Mike Oldfield. The Virgin label quickly grew and helped accomplish many things in the music industry. The label helped spread the new generation of punk to the world, as well as brought some successful bands forward, such as Boy George and the Culture Club. With all the profits coming from the label, he was able to have enough money to try new business adventures. From there, he spread out and noticed that if there was a problem in the world where it seemed that people were being ripped off, or he simply felt that he could do a better job, he would step in and try on. This is why there's a wide variety.
Richard Branson possesses various values that influences his attitude as a leader. He was always looking at the big picture and continues moving on to the next idea. It all started when he was growing up and his parents motivating him to find new challenges. Branson's attitude quickly formed as his parents stressed on direct experiences and not social learning. His parents didn't let him watch TV. It provided a foundation for his future attitudes and behaviors. Because he was focused on learning directly from experience, Branson was able to truly find what he loved and pursue it. Dropping out of high school, he started a student magazine company. This shows how diligent he was by pursuing what he loved. This shows a hint of Machiavellianism to himself by dropping out of school. Branson's diligence continued as he progressed in the music industry. Although he had to sell his company in 1992, he bounced back by finding Virgin Radio and V2. His diligence in the music industry coincided with his high job satisfaction. His desire to stay with music wouldn't be existent if he didn't love what he was doing and was satisfied every day. That desire that Branson has also shows his effective commitment to his company. He is doing what he is doing because he loves what he does. Now, more recently, it has been his space obsession. As quoted from one of his books, Losing My Virginity, I can honestly say that I've never gone into any business purely to make money. It is that of the sole motive to that I believe that you're better off not doing it. A business has to be involving, it has to be fun, and it has to exercise your creative instincts. Branson has shown his organizational citizen behaviorship by starting a company called the Spaceship Company. Nobody asked him to bring people up to space. Of his own will, he wanted a better society as a whole and advance our technologies by introducing space travel and accommodations in the near future. Branson has a knack for finding an issue in society and making it his duty to solve that problem. Yes, I think Richard Branson is a servant leader. One characteristic that reveals he's a servant leader is conceptualization. He dreams big. He looks at the overall picture and not just the details. This is shown when he dropped out of high school and failed math 3 times in grade school. So he looks to benefit society in a big picture.
Richard Branson basically embodied McClellan's need for achievement. He always thought challenges were so rewarding, so valued, so important, and so interesting that he never wanted to stop. And it'd be very easy for him to stop too, because he has his own island called Necker Island in the Caribbean. Another way Richard Branson embodied McClellan's need for achievement is that he broke the world record for crossing the Atlantic in 1987 with his hot air balloon, the largest hot air balloon ever created, called the Virgin Atlantic Flyer. And then he went on to break his own world record in 1991, crossing the Pacific Ocean. Another way Richard Branson uses McClellan's theory is that in his need for power, he has over 200 different businesses under his name. Some of those businesses involve cosmetics, clothing, nightclubs, and health clubs. Basically, in all of the interviews that Richard Branson had, including an interview he had with BBC, he always wanted to say that he wanted to make a difference in someone's life and ultimately the world. This also ties into his need for affiliation because he really values the close interpersonal relationships that he has between him, his employees, and customers. Feedback, moderate risks, and personal responsibility all hold values of a high achiever job. An example of how Richard Branson takes personal responsibility into anything he does is that when he experienced flying, he just didn't like it. So he just created his own personal airline. Another way that Richard Branson shows his personal responsibility is that he advocates everyone write a list of all the things they want to achieve in the beginning of the year and go out and do those things. In Hertzberg's two-factor theory, the 2 factors involved are motivational factors and hygiene factors. Hygiene factors are about avoiding dissatisfaction among the employees, and motivational factors sound like what the name of the factor is, motivating employees to help them have more satisfaction on the job.